You're tuned in to Streamer Conversations, the podcast spotlighting Twitch streaming pioneers who are reshaping entertainment one broadcast at a time. I'm Nerd Titan, your host and fellow streamer, bringing you authentic conversations with the innovative creators behind your favorite content. Our mission is simple: share the compelling stories behind the streams. We'll explore pivotal moments, personal challenges, and transformative experiences that happen when people share their passions with global audiences. Before we continue, let me tell you about our sponsor, AdvancedGG. Hey, if you're serious about gaming, you know staying sharp is everything. That's where AdvancedGG comes into play. Energy and focus supplements made for gamers who want to keep their edge. With their new sour black cherry flavor, it's incredible. Bold, with just the right amount of tartness. Whether you're grinding rank or pulling an all-night stream, this stuff helps you stay locked in. And the best part? You can grab 10% off your order with code NERDTITANTV10. No minimum, just straight up savings. Hit up AdvancedGG and fuel your game the right way.
Beautiful.
Greetings, I'm NerdTitanTV with Streamer Conversations podcast. Today we're sitting down with LilacNightShade. She's one of this amazing streamers that I've recently gotten to discover in the last 3 months, and they're definitely going places. So how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for all the kind words.
You are like there's very few people that I see in the, like, I don't want to say you're in the beginning stages of streaming, but like there's these people that I see that are hitting all the marks. They're making content, they're being engaging, they're doing everything that you gotta be doing. And I said this 3 years ago about one of my best friends, Tyrex. When I discovered her, like, I don't want to say I discovered, when I found out about her, she was barely an affiliate. And I said, you're going to be a partner in a year. And she got partner in a year.
That's incredible.
Because
I love that. Such a good success story.
Because she was doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. She was making content that just wasn't clips. She was doing everything that she was engaging. She was working on her craft and all this other stuff. And now, like, I was just hanging out with her. Or I was her mod for a while. So now I'm not. I stepped down when I stepped up. Like,
yeah. You got to do what's best for yourself. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so let's start at the beginning of your streaming journey. Every creator has a unique origin story. I'd love to hear about the early days that shaped who you've become as a creator. What initially drew you to streaming on Twitch? Was there a specific moment or experience in your life that pushed you towards broadcasting yourself to the world?
Yeah, definitely. So I actually officially, originally started back in 2020. I think it was the worst tiny little plastic coated laptop that I bought for my college stuff. That's English college, so your high school. I had a capture card that I borrowed from a friend and my Switch, and we were playing Spirit of the North, I believe, a adorable little fox game. I did 3 streams and I loved it from day one. I had to stop because obviously my gear was not up to scratch and I wasn't in a position where I could continue. Since then, I've tried a few times, but this time I've kind of sat down, I've bought the gear, and I'm like, I'm going to do it this time. So yeah, my origin story is kind of a bit crazy because I started in 2020. I wish I'd continued, but no, we're back now. I think I've been streaming properly since March. And I think as soon as I clicked on Twitch, I think my first few times I watched other streamers, I was like, this is it. This is me. Yeah. I've always been such a bubbly, chatty person. I could talk to an apple about a pear, honestly. So yeah, I kind of watched those streams of people playing Minecraft and things like that. And I was like, okay, that's me. I want to be on the other side of that camera.
So what was going through your mind afterwards, after that first stream?
Obviously, there was a lot of panic. There was a lot of okay, how was that? I remember watching the VOD about 4 times. Even at that point, I was really critical. I was like, okay, I could do this better. I could do that better. And I think as hard as I was on myself, it's that was the perfect first step of, okay, I immediately want to get better, which proves to me that this is something I really want to work at.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think with that first stream, I really picked it up and I wish I'd continued. I really, really do.
I had a very similar one. I started in 2020, but I only streamed probably a handful of times. And I came back in 2021 and I haven't stopped. I burned out and crashed in 2020, at the end of 2022. and
Yeah.
I crashed out for about 9 months. like,
Oh God, yeah.
and then I came back after that. So like it's been I totally understand. So did you have any content creators that inspired you when you were starting out? Did you try to emulate anyone's style or format before finding your own voice? And how has your relationship with their content changed as you've grown?
Oh, okay. So as I said, a lot of the streamers I watched were Minecraft content creators, and obviously quite a few of those are no longer spoken about for good reason. But one that I watched sort of in his very early days and still really enjoy is Tommy Innit. Now,
Yeah.
I know that a lot of people think, oh, he's really cringe and that, but I kind of grew up with him because he's a very similar age to me. Because I'm only 23 and I think he's only 21, 22. So watching his content evolve was really good for me. And I was like, okay, I want to be like him. I want to be the chatty, bubbly person that people come to the streams to have a laugh with. And even now, like, I don't watch his content as much because obviously he doesn't really stream much anymore. But I still would say that him and that group of people, well, the good ones at least, the ones that have stayed decent people, still are massive. Like Amesy as well. She's they're a very prolific queer I know who streamer, and I still watch pretty much all of her stuff as well. So I feel like me and her are very similar.
Yeah, I started with Minecraft, but I was more of the Hermitcraft group, like Mumbo Jumbo, False Symmetry.
Oh yeah.
Like them.
I watched them.
Yeah, them, and that's who. Hey, Mumbo Jumbo. Actually, I have a screenshot of him when I commented on one of his YouTube videos saying I was going to start making content showing off my redstone stuff, and this was probably back in 2017, and it took me that long to convince myself to do it. He said, go for it, I'm excited to see what you do, because I was always commenting on his stuff, like, but yeah,
I love that networking right from the beginning.
So many creators talk about the awkwardness of talking to seamlessly no one at first. How long did it take before you felt comfortable with your on-stream persona? And what moments helped you break through that initial discomfort?
I don't think I was fully confident until I tried again in March. I think my first stream in March blew up. It did so well. I had like 12 average viewers because I told all of my real life friends. I'd already made a few friends on Threads as well, and I know we'll touch on sort of networking later. But I was uncomfortable pretty much every time I streamed until I really pushed myself in March. And I think it felt like I was just talking to my friends, because I really was. Like, people who were in chat, people who were there, were people I already knew very well. And I think I've continued that sort of, I don't know sort of how many of my streams you've popped into. I know you lurk a lot, which obviously I appreciate so much. But I talk to chat as if they're my longtime friends.
You do.
Because that's the most comfortable for me. I talk to people and I remember usernames. And I think that's sort of a unique thing about me, is that I'm always remembering stuff and I'm always talking to people as if we've known each other years.
Yeah. I do lurk a lot in your streams. I'm a daytime streamer. So like a lot of my collaborators and a lot of people that I want to network with and stuff like that are British, because it's like 2. So I start at 8 a.m. in the morning for me, but that's like 2 p.m. for you. And so I usually hang out with it just happened that way. Like that, I'm just like, oh, I enjoy this creator because I'm either streaming or it's a day that I'm editing. And so I want to listen to somebody while I'm editing and so forth. It's all, and I always tend to listen. I always tend to hang out in streams that are my stream schedule or the time slot that I'm in. So like, it just happens that I'm a serial lurker, as one of my mods calls it, because I just don't tab people up. I'm actually listening, or I'm doing stuff around the house, like folding laundry and stuff, and I'm watching from like my earbuds or whatever. But yeah,
I'm the same. I lurk a lot, and I think everyone says it, and it is so true that lurkers are the backbone of Twitch. Like, half of those average viewers that a lot of people get, they're all lurkers. They're people who put it on in the background, people who don't want to chat or can't chat because they're busy, and I appreciate them just as much as the people who are chatting away. Like,
I just made a post about it the other day.
I think I saw that post.
Threads pops off for me sometimes. I say stuff that's bugging me, and it's like, oh, this post got 1,500 views. I was like, oh, thank you. Like,
it's never the content on Threads that you actually mean to go anywhere. It's always you just like complaining about something, and then everyone pops up.
Like a lot of times I'm telling myself, like I'm posting on Threads to tell myself, to remind myself that lurkers are the backbone of Twitch, and that because a lot of times I'll catch myself going, oh, how can I get these lurkers to talk? How can I become more engaging? And I have to remind myself that they're engaging in their own way.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like there are some lurkers out there that are waiting for that moment to chat or waiting for something, and they will come when they're ready.
Yep.
But I feel like a lot of lurkers, as you said, they sit and they have you tabbed up, or they're even listening, and they're getting on with their own stuff. And I'm a serial lurker too. I do have a few streams where I will always try and chat. Because I know the people like Molly and things like that, I'll always try and chat. But there are a lot of streamers that I watch and I do just lurk because I enjoy their content and I enjoy watching it while I'm busy.
Yeah. I think Molly knows that I lurk a lot because I always redeem Pink Pony Club. It's like a lot of points.
Yeah, you always come in mind and you redeem my rainbow. And I love it. I see the rainbow pop up and I think it's become your thing because every time I see the rainbow pop up randomly, I'm like, is Nerd Titan here?
Yes,
I think Nerd Titan's here.
I'm just very gay and I want to tell everyone.
As you should. I love it. I love it.
Yes. So those early experiences really lay the foundation for everything that follows. Speaking of which, let's talk about those pivotal moments when things started to change for your channel. Every creator has those turning points that transform their journey. Can you pinpoint the moment when streaming shifted from just being a hobby to something more significant in your life? What tangible changes did you notice and how you approach content creation after this realization?
So, as before, I think that turning point kind of happened before my first stream back, which is a weird one. It wasn't while I was streaming. It was just before I started streaming. I told my in real life friends and I started becoming active more on TikTok and Threads. And I kept getting engagement back, which I wasn't really expecting. For me, it was like, you know what, I'm going to try and make friends. I'll see if it happens. And then it did happen. And I almost didn't know what to do with it. I was like, oh, well, I've told everyone I'm streaming. I guess I'm going to stream now. And I met so many friends on other apps. Like, as I said before, like Molly, like Wabbit, like yourself, LD Gambit as well. Blue, as so many names that I've met through this. And my turning point was really after that first stream. I came away from it and I was grinning ear to ear. And my partner turned around to me and he was like, I've not seen you yourself like that in a very long time. And yeah, even he was like, yeah, this is you. This is what you want to be doing. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Fully agree. And ever since then, I've been looking forward to streaming every week. And I don't think I've had a moment yet that I've been like, oh, I'm not too sure. I've had a few, but no, my turning point was really the people showing up the first few weeks when I came back.
Yeah, when I took my 9 months off, I was still in people's streams. I was still like hanging out because Twitch was so ingrained in who I was. And so I knew that I still had to network. I still had to be I had friends that I made like Ty and then Threads was created, you know what I mean? And then and then Threads was like, oh, what's this? And then at first I was like, oh, this is just gonna be fleeting because usually new social medias are very fleeting. You know what I mean? They're popular for that like first 100 days and they taper off. But Threads for me has been constant like engagement back. It's like I think everything I post, I get something back from the community. And I think a lot of that is because I still network, even when I'm on a Twitch break.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go as far as to say that Threads is my favorite social media.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, they have, like, obviously, we had a poll a while ago. We had a lot of confliction between genders and things recently on Threads. But even then, like, despite that, it's my favorite social media because I'm always getting something.
Yeah.
Whether it's me commenting on other people's stuff and having conversations, I feel like most people on there are generally there to have a good chat. And that's something I love.
Yeah. I think that also that Threads with Twitter tapering off, I think people are trying to find a new platform, and some of those people are very what's the word? Not good for the platform.
Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously, Twitter's full of bots. I mean, all I have to do now is go into my DMs, and I've got about I've given up going through them, but I've got about 25 DMs from bots on Twitter, and obviously, I just don't get that on Threads. I just get positivity, and I love it.
I do too. I think the algorithm's just a little better. Like I post to the Twitch streamers hashtag a lot. So like, I think I've trained it well enough that like, this is the content I'm putting out. And I try to post at least once a day. I do shit post every so often though. Like,
I'm a serial shit poster.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Mostly on Threads. Though.
Mostly on Threads, yeah.
Mostly on Threads.
Yeah, and then for a long time I was like Instagram was like my weakest platform, but I've been posting my shorts there, like once I post on TikTok, and those have been doing good. I was like, what's the deal? Like everything is just doing better. I think that goes to being consistent though. Like I think that's one of the things that you learn as you go is you just have to be consistent, even if it's posting once a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, I try and be as consistent as possible. I've got myself in a routine of posting on TikTok every day, regardless. Like, sometimes it's trending sounds, sometimes it's things I've curated properly. But same with Threads. I try and post 1 to 2 times a day, even if it's just a random thought I've had. Just because you want to get your name out there, you want to get people like, oh, I've seen this person's content before. Even if it is just a random shit post, maybe it's something they can relate to.
Yeah.
It's like hitting sort of those goals is what I found is helping me a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, so if we watched your first stream and then today's stream back to back, what would be the most dramatic differences we'd notice beyond equipment? How has your relationship with your audience evolved?
Obviously, other than production quality, because I don't have my first VOD anymore, which I'm very sad about. I wish I did, but I don't have. I'm gutted. It was nowhere to be found. Because that laptop died before I came back to streaming. So I was like, oh, well, I'm probably not going to stream again, so I'm not going to bother backing it up. Yeah. Worst mistake. But my confidence massively. So I'm not going to touch on it too much because it's not the point of the podcast, but I was in a very controlling relationship when I first started streaming. Mm-hmm. And I remember my first stream, he was over my shoulder. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if you could see him on camera, like, directing me, pretty much telling me everything, whispering in my ear, like, you need to do this, no one's listening, stuff like that. So I can imagine on that first VOD, I probably seemed very, very anxious, and like I was stuck to a wall. But now everything I say, it's very loose, it's very relaxed. I let myself be who I am because I have the people who like that and I have people who support me to do that. So confidence, properly like speaking my words properly without feeling like I have to run it through someone before I say it, which obviously, as you can imagine, while you're live is very distracting.
Yes, absolutely. And I think also that I think that at one point, Twitch favored high volume, high energy, like creators, and I think that that has changed, where they favor more genuine creators. So like being a personality on Twitch, even though I consider myself a personality streamer because I just turn my own personality up a little louder because. But I think that I think being genuine is the reward. They reward.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm a very bubbly person anyway. Yeah. And this was one of the most rewarding things actually, is that when I met Molly in London, once we were like saying our goodbye, she turned around to me and she was like, "You are exactly the same in person as you are on stream." And that meant a lot to me because I was always worried that I was putting it on a little bit. But to hear that from like a seasoned creator, it meant a lot because I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. I'm still being myself and this is what people like. So yeah, being myself and being a personality, even if I do tone it up a little bit, you know, if I'm feeling a little bit down and I still want to stream, I turn it up a little bit, but I'm always myself.
Yep. I think that's rewarding in itself. Just I was told the same thing when I met my mod Bella, and like she's like, you're just the same, identically from streaming podcasts. You're just identically the same.
It's always rewarding to hear that because
it is.
You know, if I meet people, I want them to meet the person they know on the other side of the camera, not just a character.
Yeah,
and it was
absolutely.
nice to know that I can be myself in person and I still have the same vibes and the same conversations.
So growth of a channel is I misspelled a word. Is I can't even read to track. Now, I love to pull back the curtain a bit and talk about what happens behind the scenes. Viewers don't often realize how much goes into stream, making stream look effortless. Let's dive into some of those technical and practical realities. We all have those streaming nightmare stories. What's your most catastrophic technical failure that happened to be live? How did you handle the moment? And what did you learn from the experience? For example, I was streaming. It was back in 2021. I ended up getting a level 5 hype train, and I was like excited, and I kicked my computer on accident, and I unplugged my computer.
Oh no, not the level 5 hype train as well. Oh, that's awful.
Like I was part of some
that's
really
haunting.
Yeah, that it still haunts me. People still joke about it when I get exciting, because my desk is really small. I don't have a lot of space in my house, so my desk is really small. I have 4 monitors, 3 lights, a laptop that's on a stand. Like, it's very cramped, and so my computer's below me, and so even my mods now be like, don't get too excited.
I love that though. I love the little inside jokes that happen. I have one. I'll talk about it in a little bit, but I have an inside joke that me and my mods and my chat have, and it's so frustrating and it's so funny, but we'll talk about that in a second. In terms of tech stuff, I've never had anything catastrophic. But yesterday, I had a very big. Yesterday I had a wake up call that I probably need a new graphics card. Don't cry. I'm currently running a 2070.
I'm running a 1650.
Okay, cool. All right, we're on the same level of like outdated graphics.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
But I was trying to play Detroit Become Human. Brilliant game, recommended to me after I played Until Dawn, because
beautiful game.
Everyone's been loving it, right? I decide I'm going to open it after I start streaming. I'm going to open the app after I start streaming. Horrible mistake. Everything crashed. I lagged so much. And then I just had to be like, I'm so sorry, I'll be right back. And it took 15 minutes for the game to open. And then I came back and I was like, hi guys, sorry.
Yeah.
And it was so awkward, because you get that feeling of like, no one's going to come back. That's it now. Like, you're going to come back and no one's going to be bothered. Luckily, we were all good. People who wanted to watch it came back.
Yeah.
But I did have that panic being like, should I even go back live again? And I'm so glad I did, because it was such a good stream.
A lot of times I will load it. For example, I'm going to be doing when I come back to streaming in August, I'm going to be doing Tomb Raider, the Square Enix Tomb Raider games. I
will definitely be there for that. I love Tomb Raider.
I do too. I've played them all before, but I played them on Xbox and I have them for PC, because I'm a weirdo and I buy things twice.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I've already opened it and set the graphics down, because I have a new gaming PC that I'm putting out. I just got it. I just need to set it up. I haven't had the time. It has a 3050. So
nice.
It's my new gaming PC. But yeah, so I don't care what game I'm playing. I usually set the graphics to medium, just because.
Oh yeah, I'm the same. Yeah.
It does for me. There's no real graphical increase from medium to high.
No, and I feel like my monitors, they're good. They're EMA ones. They're not bad, but they're not good enough that I'd notice the difference. Maybe if I was playing it on a big TV, I'd notice, but I don't notice. Stream don't notice. And if it runs better, it runs better.
And for me, gaming is it. It's just something on in the background for my stream. Because we're always talking, we're always chatting, we're always getting up to chaos. So it's just something that's being done. So it doesn't have to look the prettiest for me.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I've got all my graphics and stuff, and as long as the game looks good and isn't stuttering, I feel like that's more important. That okay, the game's graphics may not be perfect, but it's not lagging and it's not freezing, and that's important to me.
Exactly.
I'd rather it run smooth than look amazing, because you've got to think as well, a lot of people watch Twitch on their phones. They're not going to notice if the game is in 4K quality or not. So yeah, I think it's more about if it's watchable, I'm happy.
Yeah, and that's for me too. Like, so I looked at my analytics. I only look at my analytics once a month. It's just something I do.
Oh, nice.
Because it affects me mentally.
Yeah.
And so I looked at it once, it's like 6 months ago, and I noticed like 68% of my viewers were on mobile. So I was like, I got rid of chat on screen, because it can't be seen. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah, I think I have my chat box pretty small so that it
yeah,
can still be seen, but it's not taking up a lot of space at
yeah,
all. I like having it there so that
yeah,
when I watch my VOD backs, and when I edit them, I like having chat there just in case chat says something funny and I want to edit into the
yeah.
video, things like that. I've had a few
Mhm.
cases where we've had like a really emotional point and then someone has put something really funny and I've made a couple of TikToks about it where it's like my chat cannot be serious at any point.
Yeah.
Like the end of Until Dawn when I was freaking out and everyone was freaking out and someone said something just completely I think they only just joined stream. I can't remember what they said, but they said something like, hey, like, and just said something completely wacky while we're all going through this like collective trauma. And it was so funny.
Yeah, and there's a reason for it. You know what I mean? You have a reason for keeping
Yeah.
it. I think that I think it's all about intention as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So, walk us through the evolution of your streaming setup from day one until now. What upgrade made you feel like you finally made it as a streamer, and what purchase ended up being completely unnecessary?
So I recently bought a new mic, which I hope you think sounds great. It's a new Fifine mic, and I have wanted a Fifine mic for so long. I think they look good. They work really well. I was running a Miono mic before,
Yeah.
which I regret buying. It was not bad, but it wasn't. I should have just saved up longer and got the proper mic.
I, as a former audio engineer, I can tell you that Fifine has some hoops to jump through to compete with like Rode and Shure, but
Oh, yeah.
for being with the price bracket that it's in, I think it's a great mic. I have a Rode, but I can tell you, even with my $200 Rode microphone and the $200 audio adapter, I still have to put filters on it. Like one of my really good friends got a Shure SM7B. And she was like, "Do I need to put filters on?" I'm like, "Yes." Like, please.
Every mic needs filters.
Every
I
mic
think it's because you never know like what background noise is there until you watch it back and you're like,
Yep.
oh, you can hear my washing machine the other
Yep.
side of the house. It's like, okay, this mic is a bit too good and you can hear everything.
That's mine. Like
But
that's mine. I have to have it gain controlled just right because my daughter will walk in, and it's a dynamic mic, so you shouldn't be able to hear my daughter walk in and say 2 words to me on stream because it's a dynamic and it picks up everything.
Yeah. So I got the Miono mic because the mic I was using before was a Snowball, a Blue Yeti, which, you know what, it was really good. But I didn't have a mic arm for it. It was really battered and I didn't like the way it looked. So I didn't want to get a mic arm because I didn't want it to be in view because it really brought down my setup. It's battered. All of the silver paint's coming off. So I was like, you know what? I'll spend my first Twitch payout. I'll get a new mic. I spent £36. I don't know what that is in dollars. I think it's
40 something dollars.
And I was playing with it and I didn't mind it, but it's like even with loads of filters, it was cutting out. And I have a relatively high pitched voice, especially when I get loud, and it was just cutting off my words. And I shouldn't have let it bother me, but someone on TikTok a few weeks ago was like, your mic's not good. And I was like, I'm not going to forget that until I get a new mic. And thank God for Prime Day, because I managed to get my Fifine mic for about the same, about £40, about $45, and it's been a godsend.
Yeah, I have the one that Molly has in a box here because my partner was my partner. My partner wants to start streaming, but we're building a stream room for both of us right now. Like
nice.
in our room, just getting it all set up so she can have a space and I can have a space, and we're painting the walls green so we can both have green screens instead of having stacks.
That's so good.
Yeah, so like
that'll be good in the heat as well. Instead of having like a massive thing blocking all of the airflow.
Yeah,
your green walls will do it.
Yeah, my green walls will do it. And so like we're doing this whole stream room. Plus, that room over there gets way better air conditioning than the way I have my setup here. But yeah, so like I think that mics are great. Like I think that people get caught up in I have to have a Shure SM7B or I have to have this name brand mic when proper EQing a mic, filters like limiter and noise cancellation all can make an affordable mic sound better. I'm not saying that Fifine will sound as good as a Shure. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying it will help it. I don't think anything can impure the Manoa mics at all, or however you pronounce those mics. but
I
Mayona.
tried a lot with it. Like, I don't hate it. It's not a bad mic, but it just wasn't up to scratch for what I wanted. I'm quite a loud person. And the room that I stream in is actually also my living room because
Yeah.
I live in a one-bed place. So my partner gets shoved into the bedroom when I'm streaming. But it was just picking up everything. It was picking up my rats in the background. And then if I turned the volume, like the suppression up too much, it was cutting my voice off. And I was like, you know what? I'd have to know a hell of a lot more about sound engineering to be able to make this work. I'm going to shell out. I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to get the mic I actually want. And I'm glad I did that.
And I think treating yourself is important. I think a lot of people, I think when it comes to like, okay, I got a Twitch payout that's worth an amount. I think so many people go, oh, I'm going to go buy these overlays or these emotes when hardware can do so much more than overlays and emotes can do. I'm
100%. Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of making your own emotes, and I have an entire series I've been working on how to create your own emotes in Canva. Like,
I love Canva.
Yeah.
I recently bought the premium. I think I actually bought the premium whilst listening to you and Blue's podcast because Blue was like, I use premium, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it. I need it.
I pay Adobe as well as Canva. So I pay them both because there's things that, yes, I need Adobe for, like Adobe Premiere and Photoshop to do a lot of my YouTube stuff. But Canva is sometimes I just need to do something real quick. I need to make a 5-minute graphic, or I need to make something super quick, or what I've been doing lately for Canva is templates. So people were like, hey, I want to how did you make your Twitch schedule? Because I do one that's TikTok resolution.
Cool. Yeah.
I do that so it can be posted on stories. It can be posted on TikTok as a photo, Instagram as a reel. I do one that, and someone's like, oh, how'd you do it? I just made a template in Canva and I shared the template with them so they could change it.
I have so many templates on Canva. I like Canva as well because it's got the brand option, so you can keep all of your colors in one place. Because before I just haven't had a notepad of the hex codes of what my brand colors were.
Most people don't do that.
I when I was making my Twitch border, I needed it to match my Twitch. Like, you know how you have your Twitch color? Yes. And I had to have my banner be the same color because it was really bugging me. So I was like, I'm going to write this hex code down, and this is LilacNightShade purple.
Yep. I am the same way. The orange that you see on everything, it's FF7900. Like,
oh my god, the fact you remember that is incredible.
I have it memorized because it's on everything. Like, if you looked at my stream, there's a border on my camera that's that orange. So my logo is that orange. Like, all my graphics are that orange. Like, everything's that orange. And if you want to know a secret, I hate orange.
Why have you used orange then?
So NerdTitan I'll make it quick. NerdTitan wasn't a streaming personality. I was back in 2016. I co-owned a magazine called NerdTitan. It was named after me because I'm 6'4" and I'm a nerd, and so we just said, "Oh, NerdTitan, it sounds good." And we were a magazine. We interviewed people. We did game reviews, all this stuff. And so in 2020, when I was going to become a streamer, I was already NerdTitan. You know what I mean? Everywhere. Like, I was already. Yeah. That was my name, and like I was already going to cons, and I interviewed cosplayers. I was already called nerd. And so I just adapted it, and those colors were orange because orange was the favorite color of the other owner.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so I've just stuck to it. Like, I'm like, my fashion is all black. And so my favorite color is actually green, but I don't like green as graphics. It just doesn't pop for me. But
no, especially if you're using green screens, it can get a bit annoying having green anywhere else. I had that once. I was thinking about a green screen, and I was wearing a green t-shirt at the time, and I was like, this isn't going to work.
No, I wear a lot of Pride shirts on stream, and so like I have one that's lightsabers. It's a Star Wars Pride shirt, and one of the lightsabers is green. And so in OBS, I have an overlay that is just a green like color that's cut out to my shirt. I love
that, so that your shirt doesn't end up with like a random splodge of
there's my background or whatever it is, I have a hex background that I throw in. So I think that like like I think that like we spend so much time like thinking about these things, you know what I mean? Where hardware can be like so much improved. Like I upgraded my computer recently just because I was like, it needs to be done because I went to go play Dune and I couldn't play it. I was hitting new games that I just couldn't play. And
I haven't had that yet, but luckily I've not been able to run anything. But I tried to stream Once Human quite a few times, and it wasn't working. And I was like, okay, if I want to stream games like this, I need a better graphics card, and I think that's what I'm saving for now is new graphics card.
I upgraded my RAM, and Once Human started working better.
Maybe I should. Yeah, to be fair, I've got space for another stick of RAM, so I might also get another stick of RAM while I'm at it.
Yeah, my new computer, I've played on it a little bit. It has 128 gigs of RAM and a 30.
Beautiful.
Like I'm never gonna have to upgrade the RAM. That was the point of buying it. That's the reason I spent almost $4,000 on it. Was I don't want to upgrade it again. It was
basically
like
I mean, even
it's
the graphics card that'll last 6 years now.
It was a 6 to 10 year upgrade, and a graphics card is a lot easier to get because I can take it out, I can give it to my partner, I can get a new graphics card. Like it gets cycled in our house.
Whereas things like RAM, not so much, because you kind of do just buy them once, and RAM very rarely needs upgrading. Maybe you want more RAM, but you never need to upgrade what you've already got.
Exactly. So like so we're going to talk about hardware, but skills are like what I always tell people. We got to hone our craft. Streaming requires mastering so many different skills simultaneously. Which skill took you the longest to develop competence in? Is there a technical or performance aspect you're still working on to improving?
So editing. So when I was a kid in secondary school, or middle school, I guess for you guys, I used to do YouTube, and I wish I had those videos as well. I made like a vlog of me at school, which was not safe at all because you could see my all of the kids' logos and everything. It was terrible. I'm so glad that's not on the internet anymore. But like I used to do all of my editing in do you remember the old editing software that came with Windows? I used to do it all on there. And it wasn't much, but I've recently got my hands on Adobe now. My friend is in university for graphic design, and he uses my PC quite a lot because it's better than his laptop. And so I'm able to use his Adobe because it's installed on his account. So I do a lot of my editing on that. I'll probably have to move over to something else when he finishes uni because I cannot afford Adobe, but massive learning curve for Premiere Pro and things like that.
Canva has some good editing. Canva has some good video editing. So
I need to learn editing on Canva as well. But working out which clips were worth editing and what clips were only funny to me was a big thing. I run my clips through a couple of friends before I post them because I know you can post anything and it'll be funny to someone. But for me, I find a lot of things funny that other people just are like, yeah, that's boring. I'm like, I thought that was so funny. And then my fiance is lovely, but he's very honest, and he will be like, okay, so it is funny, but doesn't quite capture you as a content creator. And I was like, okay, that's fair. And so going through clips that I've made that other people have made and working out which ones are worth the time it takes to edit and which ones are maybe not so much worth it. I do still edit everything. I just kind of calculate what I want to post when. If I've got nothing to post, I'll post one of my edits that are funny but not 100% up to scratch. That's sort of when I'm on low energy days. I don't have time or the energy to really push a big piece of content out. Editing was a lot of it. As I said, sound design as well. Learning what filters were on a mic is completely new to me. I know you've said before you kind of grew up in theatre and doing sound stage stuff. Not for me. I didn't do any of that. So that was massive learning curve. And I think I've done all right. I don't think my voice sounds too bad.
No, sounds great.
Thank you.
I think so.
Editing and sound design were the big ones.
The one thing that most people don't realize is everyone's voice is different and everyone's environment is different. So like my house, people are like, oh my God, your mic sounds so great. I have sound panels up. I have posters on the wall. I have shelving up. There's things that sound just doesn't my sound gets absorbed into. It doesn't reflect back. And so like I tell people, you don't need sound panels. Just put some stuff on your wall. Like decorate.
Yeah.
Make your house.
I actually realized it was really weird. I didn't think it'd make a difference, but I have a tapestry behind me and it actually changed the sound. I mean, it's a tiny, thin little thing from Amazon about 3 years ago, but it actually changed the sound.
Yeah.
And that was crazy to me that something so small could make such a difference.
Yeah. The only time I would say to buy sound panels is if you're trying to fill a small area.
Yeah.
Like you're like, because they're only 12 inches by 12 inches. If you're trying to fill like a small area, like I have sound panels behind my monitors because I wanted to absorb the hums and stuff that the computer makes and the monitors make. Because I have 4 monitors. And so like I just have them behind there, but I bought cheap ones. I bought cheap Amazon Basic sound panels.
At the end of the day, it's just foam, isn't it?
It's just foam.
Ones,
Like it's just foam. And I've seen people. So I was a sound engineer. I walked into a music studio once, and that all their sound panels were those foam egg crates that you would see on beds.
I've seen that so much. People using those, and they work just as well.
They work just as well. Like I did their sound, and I was like, this is a thing. Like, and I'm always telling people, take what you know and adapt it to streaming. And like, just like, oh, you work in retail? Take customer service. Like I always mess with Blue. I was like, I want to hear your customer service voice. Like,
I work in a call center, so I have a down the phone customer service voice.
Yeah, I worked in IT, so I always joke with people because I'm like I know like all the old like ID10T, like it's a code that we would put on things when I worked for Xfinity. It means idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you would see it on people's things, ID10T error, like idiot error, like, and you would know.
We use AC a lot, which is just angry customer. If we've got an angry customer, someone will put in the Teams chat, the AC needs turning up. Because it's like cool the angry customer down, and it's so funny to me. It's so perfect.
Yeah. So the technical side is certainly what makes streaming possible, but at the heart of any successful streamer is the community surrounding it. Let's shift gears and talk about the relationships that have shaped your journey, both with your viewers and your fellow creators. Every streamer approaches community building differently. What was your underlying philosophy on cultivating your community, and how has this approach evolved as you've grown? Are there any community norms that you've particularly been intentional about?
So when I first started, like again this year, I fell massively into the trap of follow for follow, and I now speak up very proudly and loudly against it. So I fell massively into the trap for follow. I gained my affiliate followers really quickly, but I wasn't seeing actual engagement, and I was like, okay, did some research, realized follow for follow doesn't really help anyone. Obviously in some cases it does, but most of the time it doesn't. So I was like, okay, I need to change my approach massively here. And I just started like talking to people like normal. And like with my community over on Twitch, like my specific community, anytime someone comes in, whether they just say hi or whether they just redeem something, I always make it known that I see them, they're there, hello, how are you, how's your day been? Like, even if it's just someone going, hey, like one word, I'm like, oh, hi, like, welcome in, how are you? It's become a bit of a joke that I can't read usernames. For some reason, someone will follow and I'll be like, thanks for following, and then completely butcher their username, and I do not do it on purpose. For some reason, if it's a username, I can't read it. So that's become a running joke in my community.
I do anonymous follows because I was like, oh, I want to be lurker friendly because I'm a daytime streamer, and sometimes people follow and they don't want to. But the real reason, that's the professional reason. The real reason is I can't pronounce usernames.
Yeah, I think for me it's become a bit of a laugh. Like, I always take it lightly, and I've never had anyone be upset about it. Luckily, I think if I ever do, that'll be an interesting day if someone gets upset over it. But for now, I mean, I did think about doing anonymous follows, but I think because I'm still quite small, I feel like I like to be able to say people's names out loud. I think if anyone ever says to me sort of, I wish you had anonymous followers, maybe I'd think about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But for now, I like to sort of say hi to people, and I never look at my lurker list. I made the mistake of looking sort of on Lumia stream, oh, who's lurking? And then I felt the urge to say hi to those people. And I was like, okay, I don't want to do that. I don't want to call them out, even if it's by accident.
Yeah.
Because I'm the sort of person that would do it by accident. I would go, oh, I know so-and-so's watching. Or like, oh, this is funny too. This person who I know is watching. And I didn't want to do that. So I've stopped looking completely.
Yeah. I don't look either. I will occasionally, I use Mix It Up Bot. So my mods are only shown. I have it set to only show me my mods because I want to know if there's a mod in chat. That's the only, and so occasionally I have 3 honorary mods. They're not in my streams often. They're just like honorary mods, and they know they're honorary mods because they're people that, like my friend Tyrex, she's an honorary mod, and I'll be like, hey Ty, how are you doing today? But she's a partner streamer, so like she just lurks. Like she's working.
She's got her own stuff to do.
Yeah, she has her own stuff to do, and she's lurking, and she does say hi. But for her, and I know because I've spoken to her about it, it's when people see the purple check mark, they freak out. They're like, "Oh my God, you're here!" Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't often call her out, but sometimes I'm like, "Get back to work, Ty." Like.
I see you, you're there. But yeah, like I stopped doing that. And in terms of like community outside of my personal, like people who watch my Twitch, like people I collaborate with, I've made so many friends. Like obviously me and you interact quite a lot, especially over on threads and things.
Yes.
I've mentioned Molly a few times. Absolutely adore her.
Yep.
Her and her community have been so good to me.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't think I'd be where I am now if I hadn't have made those friends. Even to the point of meeting Molly in real life and her taking time out of her day to come and meet me as a person. Like this is what I wanted. That's sort of when I think about it. And when I got home that day, I was knackered because I'd gotten the coach to and back from London like an idiot because train prices. But I remember laying there in bed after that and going, this is what I wanted. I wanted to meet people and make new friends. And that's exactly what I've gotten out of it. And it's just that sense of pride being like, okay, these are my people and I love them.
Yep.
And I want to make more people. I want to branch out and meet so many more people, streamers and people who watch streams. And that's such a positive thing for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm so chatty and bubbly. I just want to meet everyone there is to meet.
I know that they have Twitch meetups in Manchester because I have a Manchester streamer that I follow and she always goes to them. But like I don't know like where you're at and don't talk yourself. But you know what I mean? But like it's England. Everything's close.
I'm very lucky that I'm very central in England. So from where I live, I can get pretty much anywhere. I've been to Manchester a few times, to be fair. I do want to have a look out and see. I know there's a few meetups that happen in Birmingham as well, and that's not too far from me. Sadly, the reason me and Molly actually met up was because we were supposed to be going to a London summer creator event, but it got cancelled and moved, but neither of us could make the new date. So we were like, you know what, I've already booked my train tickets. And Molly was like, just come down anyway and I'll meet you. And it was such a wonderful day.
Yeah. I think that like also like I just went to one here because I live outside of Houston. It's in Texas. I just went to an event here and it was so great just to go. And it was so funny because I don't view myself as being like well known or being like I have imposter syndrome really bad. And so I went there and they were like, nerd. I was like, what?
People know me. Hello.
Like, what? Like I kept on saying what? Like I was with one of my partners and she was like, you're infamous. And I was like, I don't feel it because like but again, like I am everywhere though. Like I have to remind myself.
You post everywhere and I love that because it's good for your community, for you to get your name out on wherever you can, because you never know. You know, your next video might be the one that everyone sees.
And that's the thing. And I don't make content to go viral. And that's another thing that like I don't do. I make content to help people. And if it helps one person, that means it did its job. And so like I don't make like on my YouTube and stuff like that. I don't make content to be like, I want this to get 1 million views or blah, 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 blah. I just make it because someone either asks me a question so I got to the point where I was doing one-on-one Discord calls with people, helping them set up their like Elgato mics, helping them set up their OBS. I got so enamored with like, it was just like, I was doing it. My content was suffering. So I was like, how can I make best of both worlds? how can I help someone that doesn't take away from my time as a dad, as a partner, as a streamer? And so I just made YouTube videos, YouTube tutorials.
Yeah, no. So for me, like, I've made a couple of tutorials, but I'm still very new, and I feel like a lot of the things I'm learning are things that people have known for years. So I'm not quite confident in like making tutorials. I made one for Lumia stream, things like that. But a lot of my content is just things I like that I want to show other people. And I say, like, I'm a variety streamer. I'm also a variety everything. Like, I have such a wide array of hobbies and I'm not afraid to show them. And I know that not niching down can hurt your content in the long run or make it slower to get big. But I'm never doing this. And even when I first started, I've never wanted to get big. I just want a little community of people who we all know each other, we all get on with each other. And if I do one day get big, that's a bonus. But for me, it's about putting myself out there and hopefully collecting a group of people who like similar stuff to me that I can turn into friends and talking. And, you know, that's what it is for me. And that's what I love about my community, because a lot of the people who are in my community now also follow a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
So we can talk about stuff. Like, I'll be talking like, oh, did you guys see that post that so-and-so made? And a lot of them will be like, yeah, we loved it. And I'll be like, cool. People know each other, and I love that.
I think that also Twitch is a small circle. It's a millions of people, but it's a very small circle. So, like, when you see someone in, like, I'll use this for an example. Like, I was in Just a Blue stream, and I saw Molly, and then I was in Molly's and I saw Blue, and then I saw you. Like, I think that's like, it's this like 7 degrees of separation, like, and then you start seeing familiar faces everywhere you go. And I think that it's like our communities kind of like overlap, and like, I think there's a space for everyone on Twitch.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely. And I feel like if you make the effort to network, you only need to meet a handful of people until you've met 10, 15 people, because you meet people and then you meet their friends. And if you're in their streams long enough, their viewers like know your name and things like that. That's what networking is. It's meeting people through people. You don't have to go and make individual friends with each person.
No.
You just have to be a name that people see and go, oh, we've spoken before. And then it snowballs from there.
It has. It really is. And it's kind of like, I think also it's intention of going into someone's stream, and also just, I'm here to enjoy myself. Like, so when I'm in your stream or I'm in Molly's or whoever stream I'm in, I'm not Nerd Titan the creator. I'm not Nerd Titan the streamer. I'm just Nerd Titan. I'm just hanging out because
yeah, no, definitely. I'm
like,
the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's like, I have to make time for myself, and self-care is really hard to come by when you're a dad, when you're a partner, when you're with work. And like, my work, I'm a full-time creator, so like my work is never ending, so I have to combine two things: self-care and networking.
Yeah, and I like that, because I like that low, what's the word, it's like low stakes almost, where it's like, I can go on my phone, I can go on Threads, and I can make a random post, and that's networking, but it is also just me having a chat.
Yeah.
And I love going into Molly's stream, and I love going into your streams and just having a chat, because although it's networking and it might help me in the future in some way, it's also me just chatting to people I know and get on with. It's that perfect mix of, I'm just being a friend, but I'm also doing something good for me and my career and their career and things like that. Yeah.
Most definitely. I call it networking without expectations.
Yes, without expectations. That's exactly the way.
Yep, and that's that's what I call it. And I'm networking with nothing. I'm not asking for anything in return. I'm just there to hang out, enjoy what you're providing, that entertainment. Are like, I'm not a Fortnite player, but you know what? I enjoy watching Blue play Fortnite.
Oh god, yeah! Like, the amount of times Blue's had like a community night, and I'm like, I'm not going to get involved because I'm terrible at Fortnite. But go you!
Yeah. Like, she's been twisting my arm to play, because I've only played like a few matches. Like, I think I played for an hour. I think my Epic says I played for an hour, and she's twisting my arm to come play with her, which I may do. I have it installed, so
you gotta do it, especially if it's a collab stream. I would love to watch that.
Yeah, so like, so we're talking about it, like doing a collab stream, and now that she's on the West Coast, that it's times are a little
It's
better.
easier.
Times are a little
Yeah.
easier for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, what are some of the unspoken rules or etiquette of Twitch that new streamers often miss? Were there any community norms you had to learn that in the hard way?
So the biggest one, which I think everyone should know, is don't promote in other people's chat. I think that one for me is not something I had to learn because I feel like it's common sense, but apparently a lot of people don't. But don't go into a streamer's chat and go, hey, I'm streaming, or hey, I'm about to start streaming, or hey, I'm a streamer too. At first, for me, I was like, but how am I supposed to make friends that know I stream? But you do it by you go into people's chat and you just talk to them like normal, and then you follow their other socials, and that's how they find out that, oh, you're a streamer too. Other norms are just like sort of not calling out lurkers, things like that. For me, when I first started and I heard that, I was like, oh, but I want to say hi to people that are in my chat, and it took me a bit of like digging and working out why for me to go, oh yeah, no, that's like absolutely, yeah, people who are lurking, if they want to chat, they'll chat. And for me, that was a little bit difficult at first because I'm such a bubbly person and I love to say hello to absolutely anyone. So yeah, it took me a bit of, as I said, sort of not looking at who's lurking, not looking at who's watching, for me to remind myself that if they're there and they're not talking, it's usually because they're busy or they just want that low expectation. So yeah, just learning little things like that, like the way to conduct yourself was a little bit of a change because obviously Twitch is it's its own world, really. And the things that you do and don't do in Twitch are completely different to almost any other social media, different to real life. So learning social norms for me as well. I'm autistic, so
Same.
learning social norms in real life is a thing, let alone on the internet where you can't see the other person's face.
Yeah. I always joke with people. It's not that I don't understand social norms. It's I don't understand disingenuous social norms.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, your usual social norms, you don't go up and tell someone your address. Yeah, no, 100%. But it's the little things that you can and can't do. Like, you're only supposed to be honest in certain situations. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Do people not want honesty all the time?
Yes. I'm just brutal with it.
Yeah, I've been told a few times, like, Lilac, you come across as mean sometimes. It's like, I really don't mean to be. I just speak very bluntly sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't mean it, I promise.
Yeah. So, community is truly at the core of the streaming experience, of course. All of this has profound impact on you as a person beyond the screen. I'd like to get a little bit more personal now, if you're comfortable, and talk about your journey and well-being through this experience. Creating content can easily consume your entire life. What specific boundaries have you established between your streaming persona and your personal identity? And has maintaining these boundaries gotten easier or harder as you've grown?
So when I first started, I was pretty closed off with talking about real life at all. So obviously there's that fear of doxing yourself, but also I didn't want to talk about my friends in real life either because, they haven't consented to being on the internet as much as I have. I think that's changed a little bit, and that I've found a way to talk about my life experiences that involve other people without giving too many details and things like that. Like, I can talk about something funny that happened with a friend yesterday on stream, and I think I've learned a lot about how to have those conversations without giving too many details. And I'm a very details-driven person, so I go on tangents a lot, if you can't tell.
Yes. I love it. I love it.
I do. I love a good conversation. But for me, like, those boundaries that I had to create of what can I talk about on stream and what can't I talk about on stream were quite big. I definitely checked Twitch TOS quite a few times in my career. Speaking of which, brings me to a very quick funny story. We were playing Pokemon the other day, and I let my chat name all of my Pokemon, right?
Yes.
And there's a Pokemon called Sigilif that we caught, and I immediately was like, I know what I want to call this Pokemon. Now, if I'm not gonna say it because I don't know what the rules are, but what does Sigilif sound like if you say it really fast and add a few S's?
Yes, I get what you're saying.
Yep, you get it? I had to go on a deep dive in Twitch TOS and be like, can I name this Pokemon that? And Twitch said no, sadly.
Yes.
So I called it Phyllis instead. But like, just learning those boundaries of like, okay, some things that I say in real life, I can't say on Twitch. And it's not because they're like problematic, but they're just it's those social norms again of like, okay, I'm on the internet potentially although there's only 5 people actually watching, you never know who's going to click on those clips. You never know where your content's going to go. So you need to be careful of you're not talking to your best mate. You're talking to friends who I see my community as friends, but friends who you don't know. So you've got to be careful with what you say. And there's been a few cases where I've almost doxed myself. Not where I live is a pretty big area, so I don't mind talking about where I live. But like, I popped at this specific shop the other day, and then I'm like, wait, no, because if they know where that shop is, they can deduce where I am, things like that you've got to watch yourself.
I mod for a streamer, and she lives in Kent, and she talked about a little restaurant. And I was like, I wrote her private, and I was like, don't talk about that restaurant.
Yeah, that's the thing, because like, you never know who's going to see it. And although I'm lucky in the sense that I'm small and I don't think anyone who watches would do that, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Parasocial relationships are crazy because you really don't. They creep up on you if you're not spotting those red flags in people. And
100%. And I feel like I'm a very trusting person. So I have had that conversation with my mods and with people who actively watch, just being like, I have Discord open so that people can at me if I'm maybe talking a little bit too much about something specific. And there have been a few cases where I've had a message from my fiance who mods me just being like, curb the conversation to something less specific. And I appreciate that. It can come across as a bit jarring in the moment, having to swap what you're talking about, but if it saves me from potential stress down the line, absolutely worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so next question is, if you could implement 3 changes to Twitch tomorrow, what would they be and why? What aspects of the platform do you think need the most improvement for creators?
Oh, okay. So I think Twitch as a platform is really good. I think that obviously there are changes. So I think pushing smaller creators a little bit more would help the platform, because at the minute, everyone you see on Twitch, everyone on the front pages are massive already.
They are.
Sometimes I have to go searching for small creators, and it's difficult sometimes. If I want to watch someone small play a game, I specifically have to scroll down to the bottom to find them. I think it'd be nice if Twitch had it almost random. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but this is something I thought about the other day, is that if you go on a certain game, instead of having it automatically filtered to most popular, have it in a completely random array so that people can have a look at everyone instead of having specifically to search for, okay, I want to search for the smallest creators or I want to search for the biggest creators. And just having it on more of a random cycle might help people be picked up more often.
Yeah, I think that they're doing pretty good with the guilds, like the Pride Guild and the Latin guilds. I think that those guilds are inundated with applications. I applied for the Pride Guild, but also I applied when I stopped streaming. So like I'm going to reapply again. I'm going to reapply again when I'm back streaming for another 6 months. So I think they're doing things good. I think a lot of Twitch's problem is the vagueness in their TOS.
Yes, definitely. The fact that I've had to look so many times to work out if things are okay or not is kind of detrimental. I would like it to be more, you can talk about this, you can't talk about this, you can do this, you can't do that, rather than you shouldn't do this, but you might be okay with it. Because like then you sat there thinking, and I don't want to spend time away from my content thinking, can I say this? Can't I say this? What are the rules here? Yeah. No, I completely agree with you.
Yeah. I think discoverability, because I got serious in 2021. There was no discoverability. There was no stories feed. There was no clip feed. There was no, like, the mobile app was terrible. There was no modding on mobile. Like, I think the changes they are making, I think they're making them slowly, but they are making them. I think Dan Clancy has been doing a better job than the former CEO was. Yeah. But things have to move a little faster. That's my only thing. If you can travel back in time to the day before your first stream, what specific advice would you give yourself? What behaviors or habits did you fall into that you wish you would have avoided from the start?
So, as a personal one, get out of that relationship, obviously. I think for
Yeah.
me, it would be get out of that relationship, buy better gear sooner. Not perfect, but buy better-ish gear. And honestly, I would just tell myself to stick at it, because I often think, like, where could I be now if I'd have stuck at it in 2020 when it was less saturated, when when streamers were blowing up? I always think, like, if I'd have kept at it, where could I be now? And, like, I'm glad that I started again, but I always think, what could have happened if I'd have just pushed it?
Yeah.
And just be more confident. I think a lot of confidence was a massive thing for me. I was like, no one's going to watch me, no one's going to care. And learning that's okay if no one watches you, as long as you're making all of the effort you can to be engaging. And I very much fell into the trap of, okay, I've just done a stream, I've got 2 viewers, what's the point? Whereas now I'm like, I do a stream, I have 2 viewers, I'm like, okay, what can I change? What was rocky about that? Maybe it was the time that I streamed, because I've realized that morning streams don't work out as much for me as they do for other people, and that's okay. Or, okay, that game, like, I played Raft on stream. Brilliant game when you play it on your own, but I struggled so much because there is not enough to talk about when you're streaming Raft.
No, survival crafts are really hard, because 90% of the game is you grinding for materials.
And I've vowed never to play Raft on stream again unless it's a collab, because I struggled so much with my anxiety, because I was like, I've run out of things to talk about. What do I do now? So yeah, games like that I try and stay away from. I like story games a lot because they do a lot of the entertaining for me, and then I just supplement. And I've kind of switched that between the game is a supplement now. And I think if I'd have gone back in time, I could have told myself, okay, these games are great to stream, these games not so great to stream. Find somewhere in the middle where you're playing games you enjoy that also have some backbone to them.
Absolutely. I think that is like, I've never really thought about story games doing all the heavy lifting before, because like I get sucked into them. Like, I get sucked into the story and I forget to speak. Like,
I've had that a few times. I've watched my VODs back and I'm like, okay, there's a solid 2 minutes where you're not saying anything and you're just staring at your screen. So it's a balance.
And for me, 2 minutes feels like a lifetime for me, because I was.
It does, especially when you watch the VOD back, because you're like, okay, this 2 minutes feels like you're just not interacting, and that's why it's important to look back and check yourself a little bit. And yeah.
So thinking long-term, what legacy do you hope to leave in the streaming space? How would you like both you and your content and your impact on the community to be remembered?
So I would love to just be someone that people gravitate towards when they want to have a chat. I pride myself on being so open on stream, obviously with limitations, but I want to be the streamer that people know to be a comfortable place. I want to be the sort of person that, like, they go to if they've had a hard day and, you know what, I just want to chill, watch someone play a game, have a bit of chat. I don't pride myself on being amazing at games, because honestly, I'm pretty mediocre, and half of that is honestly kind of funny content. But my goals is to be the person anyone can chat to. And I want people to know that if they come into my chat, I will talk to you about anything.
Absolutely.
Within reason, obviously. Don't come and tell me all your trauma. I'm not a therapist. But like little things like that, it's just like, my legacy is to be the talkative person that you know that you can be friends with. And I think I portray that a lot, sort of especially with the networking I do, is that I love to talk to people, and streaming is the best way for me to do that on a bigger scale, and also less pressure than in real life. So that's my legacy. What I hope to be is that streamer that you go, I've had a tough day, I don't want to talk, but I want to be talked at. I'm going to go over and say hi to LilacNightShade. That's what my plan is.
That's how it is for me when I see that you're live. Because I have it in my Discord that it tells me when you go live.
Oh, yay!
Yeah. So and so like I'm like, dude, I need to hang out. Like, it's like one of those things I just need to vibe. And so but yeah, that's how it is for me. So I'm glad that the way I feel is the way you want people to feel.
Yeah, I'm very glad. That makes me very happy that that's coming across and people are noticing that. And as well, my moderator Echo, my fiance, I live with him. And he's always talking in chat as well. Like, I don't ask him to. I only ask that you have the stream up and just help me if I need it. But he takes it above and beyond. And if I'm not talking, he is.
That's what my partner is. My partner, you'll see her in my chat, 20 Twins. She'll pop in. She'll be like, she'll try to call me, but she knows I'm streaming. And so my phone's on Do Not Disturb. And she'll pop into chat and be like, hey, I'm heading home. Or like, hey, do we need anything? She's like in my Twitch chat asking like if we need anything from the grocery store. Because she works in retail.
I love that.
And so like,
I also, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no, yeah.
Another thing I want my legacy to be is currently the kind of relationship I have with my community is a lot of inside jokes, but I always make sure to explain them so that no one feels left out. But I mentioned this briefly earlier, and I do want to talk about this because it's hilarious. So Echo started whenever I asked him to do something. We live in the same house. Like when I stream, he's in the house, and I'm like, oh, can you fill my water bottle up or stuff like that? And he's like, only if you feed me tonight. And you may have seen this because I've made a lot of content about it. But my chat now, every time something goes wrong or like I ask him to do something, my chat are like, are you feeding him? Are you feeding Echo? And it's become a running joke that I don't feed my fiance. And that to me is so funny because every time I stream, every time Echo pops into chat, someone, even if it's someone I don't even know in real life, and that's when I realized that it had become a thing, was when it wasn't even people I knew in real life, it was my like viewers saying, like people I didn't know and people who weren't streamers coming into chat and being like, is Echo being fed? And I was like, oh, this is a thing. This is a legacy for me now, is that I don't feed my fiance.
Yeah.
Love that.
You could make a counter like Echo has been fed like as a redeem, like feed Echo.
Oh my god, I'm gonna do that. That's incredible. I'm writing that down right now. Feed Echo point.
Yeah. I don't know what you're using for like a bot because I use Mix It Up bot. And so like for Mix It Up bot, you can make things like as a channel point redeem, feed Echo once a day and he's been fed. Like once.
Yes, I love that. I'm gonna do that. I use a mixture. I'm slowly careening away from stream elements because I like it, but it's not as versatile as I want it to be. I do have Mix It Up, and I also use Lumia Stream.
I think they're both great.
The reason I keep both of them is because the lights I find so much easier on Lumia Stream because that's what it's built for. Yep. But I use Mix It Up for my daily redeems because I couldn't find a way to do that on Lumia Stream. Yep. But so it is a bit of a mixture.
That's what I would do. I would do a daily redeem for Feed Echo.
I love that. I have that written down. I'm going to do that.
Yeah. But for listeners who connected with your story today, where can they best find you, support your content? How often do you stream? When do you stream? Are there any specific stream segments or community events that you like that you want viewers to experience? This is a chance to promote yourself. Sorry, I lost train of thought for a minute.
That's okay. So I'm LilacNightShade pretty much everywhere. I'm LilacNight17 on TikTok because someone stole my username.
Yes, I did. I was making sure at the beginning of the podcast, I was making sure I was following you on my new account because I know I was following you on my other account, my gaming clip account.
Brilliant, yeah.
I was like, am I following her on my good account? Like the one I'm trying to grow? We're mutuals.
Yeah, that's good. So yeah, I'm LilacNightShade on pretty much everything. If you can't find me under LilacNightShade, add a 17. That's like my number that's on things that I couldn't get my username on. I stream 3 or 4 times a week, usually for about 2.5 to 3 hours. We've recently started making Pokemon Sundays an official thing, and I do let chat name all of the Pokemon I catch. So that is always good fun to get engaged if you're new
and I've named one.
You just want to get in that. You have named one. And yeah, so I've actually bought some new emotes, and they've been delivered today. So you're the first to hear about that. So very exciting. And yeah, so I also take requests. So if there's any games that you've not had any, like you've not seen any streamers play and you're desperate to watch, throw them my way and I'll get it done because I love requests. Yeah. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
Perfect. Streamer conversations. If this resonated with you, please share it with a friend who might need to hear it. Remember, every creator's path is unique and valuable. Want to tell your streaming story on our show? The application link is in the description. I'm your host, Nerd Titan, and I'll catch you next time as we continue exploring the real stories behind the stream.